The champagne glasses clinked, laughter spilled across the glowing ballroom, and my sister twirled under the spotlight in her glittering white dress. Everyone was cheering for her engagement. Everyone except me. I wasn't even allowed past the door. Before we begin, drop a comment and tell us where are you from and from which city you're watching our videos. And after watching the whole video, don't forget to tell us. What would you do in this situation? Be honest. Tell me in the comments below. We read every comment. Let's begin. I had stood outside for 10 minutes, my invitation never arriving, only to hear my mom's words echo in my mind from 2 days earlier. It's just for the successful ones. Don't embarrass us. My hands had clenched so tightly around the strap of my purse that my knuckles turned white. Successful ones? I'd worked 2 jobs to pay off my own student loans, while my sister, Amanda, floated through life on handouts and flattery. Yet here I was, erased like I didn't exist. When a waiter stepped outside to grab something from his car, the door swung open, and for a moment, I caught a glimpse of them. Amanda glowing in her diamond necklace. Mom, laughing like a queen beside her. My father clapping along with the music. I wasn't their daughter that night. I was the ghost on the sidewalk, ma'am. You can't stand here, the valet whispered politely, shifting nervously as though my very presence might stain the evening's perfection. I forced a tight smile, nodded and walked away, my heels clicking against the cold pavement. Each step felt like a nail hammering deeper into my chest. The humiliation burned. I wanted to scream, but all I did was press my lips together until they trembled. At home, the silence hit me harder. My husband Daniel was waiting in the living room, his sharp eyes catching mine the second I walked in. He rose from the couch, his jaw tightening. They didn't even let you inside, did they? I shook my head. My voice cracked as I whispered, Mom said it was just for the successful ones. For a long moment, Daniel said nothing. His silence wasn't empty, though. It was calculated. He crossed the room, cupped my face, and looked me dead in the eyes. Then we'll show them what success really looks like. Not borrowed. Not fake. Ours. I blinked through tears, unsure if he meant it as comfort or a promise. But the fire in his tone felt dangerous, like something was about to change. I didn't realize then just how far Daniel was willing to go to make sure my family never humiliated me again. Daniel's words didn't leave my head that night. We'll show them what success really looks like. They sounded like a vow, sharp, unshakable, almost dangerous. The next morning, he was already up before sunrise, phone pressed to his ear, his voice low and commanding. He wasn't Daniel the husband anymore. He was Daniel the businessman, the side of him my family never cared to notice. When he hung up, I asked carefully, "What are you doing?" He looked at me, calm but intense. "Making sure the next time your family thinks about excluding you, they'll choke on their arrogance." "Emily, I'm tired of seeing you treated like you're less." I swallowed, torn between fear and excitement. I had seen Daniel close deals before, but there was something different this time. His anger wasn't for money, it wasn't for pride. It was for me. That afternoon, while Amanda posted selfies from her dream engagement party, Daniel drove us across town to a gated property. The black iron gate slid open, revealing a mansion that looked like something out of a magazine. Wide marble steps, towering glass windows, and a garden that seemed to stretch forever. I froze in the passenger seat. "Daniel, what is this?" He parked, cut the engine, and turned to me with a smile that was both tender and triumphant. "Our new home?" My breath caught in my throat. "That's impossible. We can," he cut in. "I've been working in silence for years. Investments, deals, partnerships. Everything I built for us. And now it's time to use it. This house isn't just walls and windows, Emily, it's proof. Proof that you don't need their approval to be someone." For a moment, my vision blurred with tears. My whole life, my mother and sister measured my worth in what I didn't have. The car I couldn't buy, the dress I couldn't afford, the parties I wasn't invited to. And now, here was Daniel, holding the keys to a house that could swallow Amanda's entire venue inside its foyer. We stepped inside, and the world changed. The floors gleamed, chandeliers sparkled overhead, and a spiral staircase swept up like something from a movie. My reflection in the polished glass walls didn't look like the forgotten daughter anymore. I looked like someone stepping into her rightful place. "Daniel," I whispered, running my hand along the marble counter in the kitchen. "Why didn't you ever tell me?" "Because I wanted you to see it, not hear about it. Words don't silence people like your mother. Reality does." Later that evening, as movers carried in the first pieces of furniture, Daniel set up cameras. Not for security, for something else. "This," he said, adjusting the lens, "isn't just about us moving. It's about making them see. They made you invisible. Now the world will watch you become unforgettable." I didn't argue. Maybe I should have, but deep inside, I wanted it too. The years of being overlooked, dismissed, mocked for not being successful enough, they had left scars. If Daniel wanted to show the world who we really were, I wasn't going to stop him. When the video went live 2 days later, I couldn't believe what happened. It started simple. Daniel carrying me through the mansion doors, my laugh echoing against the walls as I clung to his shoulders. Then came shots of the glittering foyer, the endless backyard, the pool shining under the sun. The caption was short but sharp. "For the ones who said she wasn't enough." By nightfall, it had exploded. Millions of views. Comments flooding in from strangers I'd never met. "She's glowing. This is how you show strength. Imagine excluding her. Biggest mistake of their lives. Now that's what you call success." I sat on the couch, my phone buzzing endlessly, and for the first time in years I didn't feel invisible. I felt untouchable. But the real storm came the next morning. My sister Amanda called first, her voice dripping with forced sweetness. "Emily, wow, I saw your video. That house is, amazing. So happy for you. We should, celebrate together soon." I could hear the jealousy hiding beneath her words. Every syllable cracked under the weight of her envy. Then Mom called. Not to congratulate me, but to scold. "Emily, what was that video? Do you know how many people are talking about it? You made us look like fools, making it seem like we don't value you." I laughed bitterly, the sound shocking even myself. "Didn't you say the party was only for the successful ones?" "I was just taking your advice." There was silence on the line, the kind of silence that meant I'd finally hit a nerve. When I hung up, Daniel slipped an arm around me. "This is just the beginning. They wanted to erase you, Emily. Instead, we've made you unforgettable. Let's see how long before they're the ones begging for an invitation." For the first time, I wasn't afraid of my family's judgment. I was ready for the fallout, because this time, I had power. And power changes everything. The calls didn't stop. My phone buzzed like a warning siren, every hour, every minute. Amanda, Mom, even distant cousins who had once treated me like an afterthought. Suddenly, everyone remembered I existed. But it wasn't because they cared. It was because the internet cared. Daniel's video hadn't just gone viral. It had spread like wildfire across platforms. People were stitching it, reacting to it, quoting that line. "For the ones who said she wasn't enough." And in every comment section, strangers were calling my family out without even knowing their names. By the third day, Amanda's flawless Instagram feed had shifted from engagement glamour to panicked posts about family unity. One story showed her fake smiling with our mom, the caption reading, "Family first, always." I almost choked on my coffee. Family first? She didn't even think to save me a seat at her party. That evening, Daniel leaned against the balcony railing of our new mansion, scrolling through his phone, his expression unreadable. "They're scrambling," he said, showing me Amanda's posts. "Your sister isn't built for this. She's built for applause, not silence. And the silence from the crowd she craves? That's killing her." I hugged my arms around myself, torn between satisfaction and unease. Part of me feels guilty. Daniel turned, his eyes steady on mine. "Emily, don't. They weren't worried about guilt when they shut you out. Remember that night? You stood outside like a stranger while they laughed inside. Do you really think Amanda would hesitate to do it again if she could?" His words hit hard. He was right. Still, a shadow of doubt lingered in my chest. Revenge felt sweet, but it was also heavy. The next morning, things turned darker. Amanda showed up. The doorbell rang, echoing through the marble halls. When I opened it, there she stood in designer heels, makeup perfect. But her eyes gave her away. Restless, red-rimmed, desperate, "Emily," she said, voice trembling as she tried to keep her tone steady. "We need to talk." I leaned against the doorframe, not moving aside. "Funny. Last time we spoke, you were too busy celebrating with the successful ones. What changed?" Her lip quivered. "Please, this video, it's everywhere. People keep asking why you weren't at my engagement. Sponsors are pulling back. Do you understand what that means for me? For us?" I laughed, sharp, bitter, unrestrained. "Us? Amanda, there hasn't been an us in years." "You made sure of that." She flinched, her eyes darting past me into the house. Her voice softened. "Emily, just take it down, please. You have no idea how much this is hurting me." From behind me, Daniel's voice sliced through the tension. "She's not taking down anything." He stepped forward, his arm sliding protectively around my waist. "You wanted to erase her? Now the world knows her name. That video stays." Amanda's face twisted, the sweetness peeling away to reveal something venomous. "This isn't over. You think one video makes you better than us? You'll see." She spun on her heel, her heels clicking violently against the driveway as she stormed off. My stomach churned as I shut the door. "Daniel, maybe we're pushing too far." She looked exactly how she deserves to," he interrupted coldly. Then softening, he touched my chin. "Emily, you spent your whole life bowing your head around them. Now, for once, they're the ones bowing. Don't let guilt steal this from you." His conviction steadied me, but I couldn't shake Amanda's words. This isn't over. That night, as I scrolled through the comments on our video, I saw something that made my blood run cold. A post from a local gossip page. Sources say Emily Carter was excluded from her sister's engagement party because of long-standing family tension. Rumors suggest secrets about inheritance, favoritism, and betrayal. Inheritance? Betrayal? My mind spun. There were things my parents never told me. Things they always whispered about when they thought I wasn't listening. Daniel noticed my silence. "What is it?" I handed him the phone. His jaw tightened. "They're trying to control the story. Spin it their way. If they drag out skeletons, they'll regret it." "Skeletons?" I whispered, dread curling in my stomach. He held my gaze, his eyes hard but protective. "Emily, I've done my homework. Your family's success isn't as spotless as they want people to believe. They've been hiding things. And if they push us, I'll bring it all into the light." My breath caught. I wasn't sure what terrified me more, the thought of family secrets exploding, or the certainty in Daniel's voice when he promised retribution. Because one thing was clear, this was no longer just about an engagement party. This was about legacy, power, and truth, and the next move would decide everything. I barely slept that night. Every creak in the house, every gust of wind against the glass windows, made me feel like something was coming. Amanda's words, "This isn't over," looped in my mind like a curse. By morning, Daniel was already at the kitchen table, laptop open, his eyes sharp with determination. "It's happening," he said without looking up. "Your family's trying to rewrite the story. They've started leaking rumors, painting you as the jealous sister who can't stand your siblings' happiness. They want sympathy." I sank into the chair across from him, my heart heavy. "And people will believe them. They always do." Daniel finally lifted his gaze, his tone steady but filled with fire. "Not this time. I told you, I've done my homework." Before I could ask what he meant, he turned the laptop toward me. Documents filled the screen, financial records, property transfers, even emails. My parents weren't the shining figures they pretended to be. The success they lorded over me was built on questionable loans, unpaid debts, and connections they never wanted anyone to know about. My chest tightened. "Daniel, how did you—" "I had my suspicions for years," he said calmly. "And when they humiliated you, I started digging. Emily, the truth is, they don't have the power you think. They only have shadows, and shadows disappear when you turn on the light. My stomach twisted with both dread and relief. For years, I'd thought I was the weak one in the family. But now I realized I was the only one who wasn't hiding. The showdown came faster than I expected. That evening, my parents and Amanda showed up at the mansion. No warning, no invitation. Just the sound of tires crunching on the driveway and fists pounding against the door. I opened it to find my mother, Linda, her face drawn tight, eyes flashing with restrained fury. Beside her, my father, Richard, adjusted his tie like he was preparing for battle. Amanda stood between them, arms crossed, her engagement ring glinting under the porch light. "Emily," Mom began, her voice brittle, "this spectacle has gone far enough. Take down that video. Stop embarrassing this family." I leaned against the doorway, my heartbeat steady despite the storm raging in front of me. "Funny, you didn't care about embarrassment when you left me standing outside like I was dirt," Amanda snapped, her voice sharp. "Stop playing the victim. You've always been jealous of me. That's why you and your husband are doing this, to make me look small." Daniel appeared beside me then, his presence commanding. "Amanda, no one needed our help to make you look small. You did that yourself when you excluded your own sister." My father's face reddened. "Watch your tone. You don't know who you're dealing with." Daniel's lips curved into a cold smile. "On the contrary, Richard, I know exactly who I'm dealing with. Do you really want me to release the records? The loans you never paid back? The property's tied up in Amanda's fiancé's name. Because once I hit publish, the internet won't just talk about Emily's mansion. They'll be dissecting every dirty detail of your so-called success." The silence that followed was suffocating. My mother's hand shook as she clutched her pearls. Amanda's face drained of color. My father's jaw worked furiously, but no words came out. I stepped forward, my voice low but cutting. "All I wanted was to be treated like family. You couldn't give me that, so now you'll watch me build a life without you, and you'll see that I don't need your approval." I never did. Amanda's eyes glistened with tears, but pride kept her chin high. My father muttered something under his breath, turned and stormed off. My mother followed, her silence louder than any insult she could have thrown. Amanda lingered for a moment, her gaze locked on me, 1,000 unspoken words between us. Envy, regret, disbelief. Then she spun and left. When the door closed, I let out a shaky breath, my legs nearly giving way. Daniel caught me, steadying me with his arms. "You did it," he whispered. "No," I said, tears sliding down my cheeks. But this time, they weren't from pain. We did it. That night, as the city lights shimmered beyond the balcony, I scrolled through my phone. The video was still climbing, millions turning into tens of millions. Strangers sending messages of support, women writing, "Thank you for showing us we don't have to take the humiliation anymore." It hit me then. This wasn't just about revenge. It was about rewriting my worth. For the first time, I wasn't the forgotten daughter. I was Emily Carter, the woman who rose, who endured, who stood tall even when her own family tried to break her. And as Daniel pulled me close, whispering that the best chapters of our life were only beginning, I knew one thing for certain. They had tried to shut me out. But instead, they lit the fire that made me unstoppable.